Anything else you want to say to your fans, man?
Man, shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, Earl Spence Jr., my whole name, and just look out for me.
All these dudes know what they doing by standing away from Earl, and for real, as a fan, I'd be mad. Like, man, I want to see that fight, but like as a dude who want to stay in good health, I don't blame them. And they don't want to die, man. You know what I'm saying? He killing people in that ring, man.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So I wanted to talk about some news that Kell Brook, he released to the public yesterday. Matter of fact, we talked about this on the radio show yesterday, but I wanted to elaborate on it a little bit. Basically, Kell Brook, who we all know is the IBF welterweight champion, and his mandatory is the man you're looking at on the screen right now, the truth, Errol Spence. And right now, and as I say that, the poll, it pops up on the screen right now, a poll that I did back in April, where I asked you the question, does Kell Brook fight Errol Spence next? Does he vacate or does he prolong? And you can see the way you guys voted. Now, what's interesting, since we're looking at this screen right now, is I alluded or insinuated that Kell Brook, he was most likely not going to fight Errol Spence next, and that came to fruition. Instead of him facing Errol Spence next, he ended up facing Gennady Golovkin. And then I said, after the Gennady Golovkin fight, I can't see Kell Brook going from losing to Gennady Golovkin and then jumping right in the ring with a monster like Errol Spence. I said I couldn't see him doing it. And now, if you guys listen to what Kell Brook has been saying recently, today or yesterday, he just now said he wants the winner of Pacquiao versus Jesse Vargas. Now, right after he lost to Gennady Golovkin, instead of calling out Errol Spence or saying, I'm ready to defend my title against my mandatory Errol Spence, instead of him saying that, he decides to say, oh, you know what? I'd like to fight Canelo Alvarez. When he didn't get a response from Canelo Alvarez, then he started talking about possibly fighting against Amir Khan. Now, finally, he's saying he wants the winner of Pacquiao versus Vargas. Now, what's so ironic is when I was telling you guys that I didn't think that Kell Brook would take the Errol Spence fight and he would most likely vacate before he even fights him, some of the strongest Kell Brook supporters were saying, come on, man. Don't be ridiculous saying something like that. Of course Kell Brook is going to fight him. And then when Kell Brook got his 60-day medical extension, there were more people saying, of course he's going to fight Errol Spence after his medical extension. You can't expect him to fight Errol Spence right away. Let the man heal. He had a fractured eye socket, etc., etc. This is what the fans were saying to me, right? Now we find out that even while Kell Brook is on this medical extension, he's still calling out other fighters not named Errol Spence. So, that tells you something right there. That tells you that he does not want the fight. People are always calling Kell Brook the king of mandatories. And how ironic is it that when Kell Brook has to face a mandatory that a lot of people are perceiving as one of the next pound for pound top 5 champions in the future, now all of a sudden he's in no rush to face his mandatory. Usually every time you turn around, Kell Brook is fighting his mandatory. But it's a whole different game now when it comes to Errol Spence being in that situation or in that position of mandatory status. I mean, the IBF, they need to step in and they need to put their foot down and they need to say, look, you're going to fight this guy, you're going to give up your belt. I personally think it's disrespectful for Kell Brook to be calling out other fighters when he knows he has a mandatory. A mandatory who's been doing everything that he's been asked to do to get in position to fight for the IBF title. This is what Errol Spence has been doing. After he knocked out Chris Algieri, he was supposed to get the shot. Then they threw Bundu in there with Errol Spence, and Errol Spence, he had to fight him. Now, since Kell Brook has been granted this medical extension, now Errol Spence is most likely going to have to fight a third opponent before he gets a shot at the IBF title. It doesn't make sense. Now, I'll tell you what they should have did. What the IBF should have did is they should have stripped Kell Brook of the belt and made him the mandatory and had Errol Spence fight someone else for the vacant belt. That way everyone wins. If it's so important for Kell Brook to keep this belt, then he becomes the #1 mandatory. So once he comes off of his medical leave, he can go ahead and fight for his title again, right? That's what they should have did. So, it's really going to be interesting to see how long Kell Brook plays this game, how long Kell Brook tries to hold this belt hostage and stall when it comes to Errol Spence. It'll be interesting. I'll close with asking this question once again to all the fans that strongly supported Kell Brook, and you said that he was going to fight Errol Spence next, calm down, etc., etc. I want to ask you guys a question. If Kell Brook is planning on facing Errol Spence next, why is he calling out other fighters? Why is he calling out Amir Khan, Canelo Alvarez, and now the winner of PACQUIAO-VARGAS? It's a simple question. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
Hi, you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.